Good evening. This is System Shock back with the 14th episode of the Apostle Obstinate playthrough and the story of Ike Subscribe. As always, if you are enjoying this series and you're not yet subscribed, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and if you are looking for notifications, do feel free to hit the bell. Alternatively, I've currently been uploading these Wednesdays at 6 o'clock in Eastern Time. Now, we've mellowed our darkness and our light. We're 43 seconds away from losing our fascination, or rather our Season of Visions. Now, we do have a Season of Despair coming up in 44 seconds, so I still want to avoid any dread. But things are looking up. We're currently translating the Rose of Wanzai. Again, a reminder here, the offshoot favored by Wanzai, the True Sisterhood, followed by Saint Respicius, in pursuing ascension in the name of the door, the Eye, the merciless hour of light. Saint Respicius failed, perhaps, because the larger sisterhood tracked him down and ritually strangled him, but Wanzai outlines the steps for those who hope to succeed. Now, as we mentioned last week, what we're going to be focusing on is either finishing this auction, where we'll be able to get the 7 graces. Alternatively, we'll get our money back and we'll start sending people off to do expeditions. Failing that, or rather if our auction completes and we're out of money again, what we'll wind up doing is spending some time and work. We'll try and generate money through other means, and then we'll be able to go on the jobs. I'm not too worried about waiting a while for the, Cater and Hero and St. Agnes, because I can still buy books from Moorlands. And of course, we do currently have a detective after us as well as tentative evidence, so it's not necessarily in my interest to start generating the notoriety from expeditions right away. But we would like to make progress in the playthrough. It's been a bit slow, and we still don't have a ritual, so I would also like to try and move things along. So with that in mind, let's unpause and see the magic happen. We divined that the long intended to come at us through our dreams. We've delayed that a little. Good news. Elizabeth did a good job. Alright, someone else has matched my bid. I must match it with more funds or forego my prize. But we did just get paid, so let's throw the money in. And it is a little bit faster for us to do physical labor, so I am going to take my arms of iron and go to the work site. So this will decay into another edge influence, but again, we don't have anything that we can really do with it. So for those of you wondering how I stack those, you can either push this button or tab. I've won the auction. The auctioneer makes the note of my name and signals one of the attendants. I have my prize. I hope that it is worth it. So what did we just buy? The 7 graces. The spices and savories department of the eccentric firm of TRN Limited caters to endeavors such as ours. They've supplied these tempting adornments, with which we shall bedizen and prepare ourselves once they have been correctly prepared and sealed in a darkened kitchen. It gives us 2 grail. It is an ingredient, as are we, and it's actually a job. But I'll let you figure out why in a minute over the course of the playthrough. Okay, so we don't have any money, so it doesn't make any sense to go to Moorlands. It might make sense for us to send out one of our hirelings to go explore. Alternatively, we could use the Furtive Truth to find a new location on the continent. I'm not 100% sure which I want to do yet, so let's take a minute here. We'll take our pawn and see if they can find anyone or anything interesting. So this is decayed into a glimmering, sadly. It would be nice to upgrade the fevered imagination, but I have a feeling that it's going to take us a while. Okay, so if I wanted some dread, restlessness is a great way to generate it. Alternatively, I could also do another painting with the restlessness, but of course our reputation is being gobbled up by the weary detective. Now the worry, of course, is that we may generate fascination through either of these options, but of course, we've got the, we don't have to worry about fascination anymore. We're more worried about dread. So we won't go through the regular white door. Basically, I need to pick between the Lodge of the Sage Knight and the Orchard of Lights, and I'm trying to think which one would be worthwhile. Let's take a visit to the Lodge of the Sage Knight. So we did miss out on a secret history. This isn't too bad. We've got a favor from authority. I've learned something that will earn me favor once only. This will preserve you or a follower from imprisonment, but it cannot be relied on. Now, it takes 300 seconds, so this will probably, this is probably going to expire. Entering the white door, last night I dreamt of a blue silk pavilion overlooking the cloudy labyrinth of the Bounds. I listened to the mistress of this place speak of other visitors. The Suppression Bureau come here. Did you know that? I think they hope to recruit me as an ally, she snorts derisively, after what they tried to do to Christopher. But their folly is your fortune. I will tell you something that may help you if the Bureau ever troubles you. Now, this particular individual you are actually able to summon inside of the game, and again, I do like some of the interaction that comes in through the comments. So, if you have any guesses as to who I'm speaking with or what summon that would be, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you'd just like to find out who it is, we'll try and summon them at some point over this playthrough. In my dreams, I know the path to the Stag Door through the maze of the Bounds. Gearby will let me pass, but the path is always a puzzle. I will need reason. And the solidity of the everyday banishes phantoms, so 3 seconds away from being a bit more grounded. And we have found Streets Strange by Moonlight. Not a terrible outcome, but not one that excites me too much. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions, it's over for now. And we've finished reading the Runes of Wanzai. Seek in dreams, seek the Mansis. The third mark can be achieved only when one has passed the Stag Door. One must pass the wood, one must rise to the White Door. The Stag Door awaits the Lightbearer in the sight of Gearby. So here we have Chiliarch's lesson, the second of that lore, but we can read it again. This is a bone-deep story the thousandmen learnt in antiquity, of blood and its exits. To speak it aloud is to hear the sword hiss. And we have a Mansis glimpse, which is a new bit of lore for us. A snatch of poetry, a single memory of a certain house that all of us visit at least twice in our lives. For one's first visit to the Mansis, this lore is almost essential. And of course, that is a little bit of a hint in terms of what you use that lore for. So, we are running out of things that we can do with our study verb. Now, I could, of course, try and upgrade some of my traits. This will be particularly helpful if I want to try and bring my health even higher and reduce the time that I do manual labor. But for the time being, I am going to take advantage of the Journal of Alessandro Lacrosse. Prince Alessandro Lacrosse spent years in secret study of the tablets taken from the Fucine marshes in central Italy. His work will allow you to decipher Fucine texts. It has something in common with Latin and something else in common with the scratchings of maddened rats. A hireling? I found someone whom I might pay to enact regrettable necessities. Add funds to hire them for a limited time. Now, this is a hulking fellow as opposed to my pawn. It is technically 2 more edge, but I already have Eldridge and Rose who are 5 edge, so I don't need to worry too much about what they can do. Right, the others speak little to me, but they now nod when I pass. Here is my pay. So the vitality is eventually going to be combined to get me another level of hardened physique, the next level above it. But for now, we go to Glover and Glover so that I can pay the rent. Nothing's coming up, so that's good news. And we only have 1 Mystique, so it's probably going to be the case. Or you know what? I'm going to generate Mystique when I bring in new followers. So the Weary Detective is still going to be busy. We're just getting rid of arousing air. The passions are aroused. And a thrilling air. The senses are sharpened. Now we're going through the Stag Door so that I can try and generate furtive truths. The Wolf Despair prowls elsewhere. No dread empowers this despair. It's over for now. And we have found Rhaenyra. So we've got our second Grail follower. Rhaenyra has been found not guilty 3 times in 3 separate jurisdictions. She will likely never be found guilty of anything. You may be able to recruit this acquaintance as a follower. And of course, we've got our Waking Chant. I pretty much always use that now because I'd like to generate my focus right now. So here's the logic behind what I'm doing. Because I am not going through a higher level of Glover and Glover, my most reliable way of generating money quickly is actually to do the physical labor. This is a constraint specifically because I have not decided to lock myself up in Glover and Glover's duties. And so the shorter period of time doing manual labor, the more sort of gold per minute the more money sort of per minute, more funds per minute I'm going to be generating. And so the higher I bring my hardened physique, the faster I'll be able to earn money. And as a result, I'll have a little bit of an easier time covering my expenses and start going on expeditions. And the way that I raise my physique is going to be either by studying health or by generating it through occult means, which in this case means trying to associate myself with heart as often as I can. So talking publicly about the invisible arts will attract attention. Perhaps that is what I want. Of course, it also keeps the weary detective busy, but then that's not too bad because it just means that did I mess up? Forgotten Chronicle feels too high for what I wanted. No, that's right. I did this in the wrong order. It's the wood, the white door, and then the stag door. So, oh well. A story of a city without a gate, of a queen who was not born, of a war that was not fought. Exploring with this scrap of knowledge may uncover secret locations on the continent. Alright, so that was a bit of a mistake on my part, but I'm gonna need the Forgotten Chronicle sooner or later. Last night, Gearby was talkative. He spoke in his siege engine voice of the histories he'd overheard in the waking world. I listened until his stories trailed off again into weeping. I want to be a little bit careful about my use of the dream verb. We are going to be becoming sick in exactly 1 minute. But for the time being, I am content to go back through the white door. That's going to take 60 seconds, so we'll have 6 additional seconds, and I just need to make sure I don't go back through the world of dream. Instead, that I consume the delightful blood and get rid of my my problems. In places it overlaps with languages I know. In other places, well, I can see why they call it the Tongue of Witches, but I can understand it well enough now. A people lived east of the lost lake Fusino. Horus warned that theirs was the land of witches. This was their language, called by some the Dry Tongue, and by others the Tongue of Witches. Some books must be translated before they can be read. Now, we don't have any such manuscripts, but we will find them sooner rather than later. But it does mean that I've now run out of books to study, and we don't have a reliable way of acquiring them. I either need to get them from Moorlands, or I need to start going on expeditions. And as we mentioned, one of the ways that I'm going to be trying to do that is by generating more health. And again, that doesn't mean this is the best way to do it. It just means that that's the way that we're approaching this today. I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't too beholden to Glover and Glover on this run. So let's use... I'm trying to think what I want to do with the Explorer verb. Let's just take the pawn again. All right, paid the rent. And we will go back to the work site for 50 seconds. I believe it's 45 when I get to the next level. Crowded thoroughfares by day, a fog-wrapped labyrinth by night. I'll set my minions searching for opportunities. I might have found somewhere unusual. Alright, an unveiled angle. At a certain angle, my thoughts reflect the Mantis light. Our enemy seeks to learn that angle. So we do not have fascination at the moment, and I don't think I'm going to be doing anything that will generate it, so I got a bit lucky there. Found somewhere unusual. Our enemy has searched the Mantis halls for the glint of my reflected thoughts and found nothing. Alright, so here we've got a bomb maker. This is pretty effective. Unfortunately, I don't really have that much use for either High Forge or Edge, so we will not hire them. I should have read that text, I apologize, but we've got contentment. We don't have a partner, so I am happy. It's basically what the text says. Alright, so we can visit the Lodge of the Sage Knight again, or we can take a quick trip to the Orchard of Lights. Let's go back to the Lodge of the Sage Knight. And we've got another Forgotten Chronicle. Last night, I visited the Lodge of the Sage Knight. My hostess manifested as an elegant woman with fashionably short hair and dark glasses. No, she admits, I don't need them, any more than I need my eyes. Allow me my sentimentalities. But you've come for knowledge, I expect. Here's a story I heard in my Kerishim days. You're welcome to it. Only remember me if you come to make the pilgrimage. So again, it's not too bad if we wind up with high-level lore. We are actually able to sort of take it apart and turn it into lower-level lore. I don't want to, though, because of course we will be using the Forgotten Chronicle for other things later. Now, I have used up all of my health, though, so... oh, yes, but it's good that that happened, because we're going to get sick soon. So, more vitality. We'll be able to combine that into a lesson learned. I feel like I'm missing a health. right, we're studying it, that's why. So back to Glover and Glover. I have neglected my studies, but I stand a little straighter. So we've got some expiring vitality. We'll combine the two oldest into a lesson learnt. And we're going to continue on sort of a similar line until we're able to upgrade our physique. Alright, there's our forlorn blood. I have a disease. My blood is wrong. My bones are sick. I'll die, but perhaps I can preserve myself long enough with the holy blood of Ardalite. Resting will restore me if I have the necessary resources. And we will take the delightful blood. I received a little vial of Ardalite's blood via courier. Ardalite's instructions are written herein, in tiny tangles of cellular script. We can taste them as they will taste us. If we waste it, Ardalite will wax wroth. I consume the little vial of blood. Lie back, close my eyes. Tomorrow I will be stronger. Now, remembering that this will generate some fascination, but it's not something we need to worry about right now because the Long's attack failed, and we currently don't have a Season of Visions coming up. I do, of course, have a way of getting rid of this fascination as well, so I think it's time that we make some other use of that talk verb. I'm much recovered. More than that, I am sumptuous. The sclera of my eyes, the veins in my wrists are aswim with gorgeous serums. When vitulation comes, I will be the centerpiece for Ardalite to prove their appetite and to enact the Grail. Alright, so again, I want to make sure that I get rid of that, but we'll take care of that a little bit later. Let's go back through the white door. It could possibly generate some, it could potentially generate some vitality out of that, because of course we are invoking Heart. Now I can approach the white door through the bounds. Now I can press my fingers to it, feel its chill, watch it swing open. As it opens, my mouth closes, tightens, heals over like a lost deformity. Around and about me is the cobalt light of the Mantis. Okay, now we don't have a lantern follower seeing what's going on right now, so I'm going to say our spy has returned to us. Here is the lantern group. We'll send him right back in to find out what's happening. Better not. I must be careful of the company that I keep. So if I wanted, of course, I could, I will take the furtive truth at least. Odd nooks remain in the quiet countryside here and there for those who know where to look. It is rather difficult for us to be generating money right now because we don't have a lot of high-paying work. And, come with me. Okay, new hanger-on. I've been really bad for generating lots of hangers-on, but, can't be too choosy. So as far as the talk verb is concerned, I don't really see any use for this fascination right now except to be gotten rid of. So we will use that in the induction. So we could bring Pope Clifton for another lantern follower. We don't have a winter follower yet, so we could add Violet. Rhaenyra would give me another Grail. Enid would give me another Knock. And I don't really see any reason for me to... I really don't see any reason for me to upgrade any of the hangers-on right now. So let's add a winter follower because you never know when you're going to need it. So Violet. Violet is always given unstintingly of her time, easing the pain of the dying. And we will bring in the fascination, but we still need some Grail, so we will use the Megalesion incantation. This one is ready. Alright, so we've got our health back, Kirk's file out in silence, I am free for now, and we will continue to use my hardened physique to advance my interests. I'm ready to grow stronger. Use this lesson learnt with your strength skill. Now, I've already got the strength skill here, so I'm not able to see how many lessons learnt I'll need, but we can use the fresh air and exercise for a minute, and we'll gain another vitality just by focusing. Again, we don't have any books, we don't really have any means of collecting books, so this is one of the easier ways for me to deal with my circumstances. And here's the furtive truth we were looking for. A detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak where this may be overheard. Many of the dead enter the mansis through the White Door. They wander its corridors in silence until they are lost. Some embrace each other, some devour each other, some force their way into the dreams of the living. A few record their memories on the mansis stone where it is soft. They scratch it with their nails, you see. Last night, I read one of those memories. I've gone a little bit over, so I think we'll leave it there. We didn't manage to get to a point where we're a little bit more financially secure. However, we are on some pretty good we're on a fairly good track in terms of getting our vitality up. We're going to be getting another vitality from study. We'll be getting a vitality from working. So we'll be able to have at least 2 lessons learned, and it shouldn't be that hard to generate another one. And again, that's assuming that some of the other actions that we're taking don't generate vitality through supernatural means. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Apostle Obstinate playthrough.